This is John Zaninovich. Welcome to Move My Mass. You'll be hearing from great guests talk about balancing life and being fit. Yeah, I have Kelly Rossicon today, mother of 5, Arbonne consultant, and many other things. Very active life, busy as ever. Just finished 75 Hard, among other things. And yeah, I want to welcome her to the show.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Such a pleasure.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to chatting with you.
You too. No, once you invited me, I was like, heck yeah, let's go. So thank you.
Yeah, just seeing all the different things you've accomplished and continue to accomplish. Just want to have you on. And yeah, tell me how you do it. You know, like I say, Arbonne consultant, mother of 5, wife, active.
Yeah.
How do you pull your day together?
So, well, thank you. First of all, I start early, about 4:30 in the morning. I get up, and one of the things that I have done that has made a massive impact is a really strong morning routine, which is something that I've known that I've needed to do for a long time, but just kind of have resisted that. So I've kind of recently, a lot with the 75 Hard is a really big catalyst for me in changing a lot of the things, and to be able to fit all of those extra things that I need to get accomplished through that program. Yeah. My day had to start earlier. So I have a really, really strong morning routine. And then I guess I've always been really good at rolling with the punches. And with 5 kids, you have to. Every day looks a little different. You know, you might think that you've got a straight path on a certain day, and one of the kids will throw a little curveball at you, and you have to kind of just adjust with it all. So I love it, though. What's
the age range of the kids?
So Sophia's 23, and then I have a 21-year-old Calvin. Benjamin is 20. He just turned 20. And then we tapped out for a minute. And so we have the bigs and the littles.
Right.
And so Owen is 13 and Vivian is 11. So my oldest and youngest are 11 and 23 girls and 3 boys in between.
Yeah, that will definitely keep you busy.
Oh boy.
And lots of curveballs. So you mentioned moving your day earlier. How long have you been doing that?
About 75 days.
Oh, about 75.
I looked at that program like, wow, like there's a lot I've got to get done. And so probably a little bit longer than that. But yeah, I start at 4:30 in the morning. I get up. Part of the 75 Hard program, you have to take a progress photo. And so that's the first thing I do. Get up, go to the bathroom, take my photo. Yeah. We have an infrared sauna, and it's a sunlight and amazing sauna. I love it. So it's programmed to be hot and ready to go. So I literally grab my water. I walk in there and I do about an hour session where I do my reading. So I read at least 10 pages a day. I do meditation. I do prayer. And I do visualization all in that time. And if I have a couple minutes left over, I'll make sure that my day's dialed in and I've got my to-dos ready to go. So jump out of there. I jump into a 5-minute cold shower. It's freezing cold all the way turned to the left, which is a new practice for me and one that I dreaded. But it's created a mental toughness that has been really neat to see. Like you walk through that and you're like, oh, I actually can't do that.
Right.
And then I go to work out, and then it's about 7:00 and I get home, right around 7:00, and I get those kids up and we get rolling either to school. They're half homeschooled, half they go to Legacy Christian.
Okay.
So
when you say half,
2 of the days they go to school.
Gotcha.
And then the other, 3 of the days they go to school and 2 they're home.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of this nice little hybrid school it's amazing. Cool. It's a great, fantastic school. So I get to have my imprint on them a little bit more than a lot of moms get to, which is really nice. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't want to sit here and pose. I've got a tutor right now. So I have a full-time tutor that does my teaching part of it. I like to parent, not be my kid's teacher in the school ways. I'm like, this is a win-win.
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm not that quintessential homeschool mom that I'm grinding out math, with my kids. So.
Yeah. So how different is your day now that you've done 75 Hard versus before? Because you're already super busy.
Yeah.
And, Arbonne, kids, working out. Your day was probably, I'm assuming, very full. And now you've revamped it, I would say.
Yes. So I didn't have the reading. I didn't have the visualization. I didn't have all of those practices that I knew I needed to start practicing to get to that next level. I wasn't doing those things. So my day was able to start later, and I just wasn't being disciplined in those, like reading, visualization, prayer, all of those kinds of things. So wanting to add those in and knowing that those were going to be a game changer for me, I had to extend my day out into the morning a little bit earlier. So I would wake up about 6:30. Derek's always up at 4:15, like working out. He is very disciplined. I can tell you where that man is within the minute of the morning. Like his routine is so, and he's been like that for 20 years, 25 years.
And it helps a lot.
Oh,
when you decided to move to an earlier time.
It really did. Yeah. Now we have that in common where there was a separation between us, and he's always worked his buns off. And I've always innately known that is part of his success, is that he has that strong, I just really believe in it. It's like a game changer, that strong morning routine. And I just watched him do it, but I was unwilling at that time to really do the hard stuff. I was living a very comfortable life. And I was in the same spot with Arbonne, with my parenting, with my physical fitness, with all of those things. I just was like staying in the same spot, which was enough to, look like I was doing really well. But inside.
But you were.
Yeah.
What you're describing is a very successful life.
Yes.
Already.
Yes. But I knew that I had way more in me.
Internally, you wanted to level up. You wanted to go to the next level.
Yeah, because I just think we have the older you get, I'm like 48, going to be 49 here. And the older you get, you really realize like how short life is.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's like slapping me right in the face right now, right? You feel that, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And so I don't want any more years to slip by without really like diving in and pushing that potential. I don't think God makes anybody average. I don't think he's made a person on this earth average. I think it's what we do with our potential that makes all the difference in the world. And it was kind of one of those moments. I listened to the 75 podcast, and that is actually what slapped me in the face. I was like, oh, dang, this. I don't know if you've listened to it or not.
I'm not.
Oh, my gosh. He's a rough guy. Like he says, I'm like, he gets in there. I was like, oh, man. And there's a couple things he said that I was like, yeah, you're describing me right now. And I was like, I don't want this anymore. Like, I want to live in and shoot for the potential, like start pushing it a little bit more. Right. It's been the best 75, 80 days ever. It's been amazing.
So what was the hardest adjustment? Waking up early, or was there something else during the day of 75 hard that was a harder adjustment?
Well, getting the 2 workouts in a day, I would say sometimes it's a challenge. But when you take away the option of it, you take that option away, it's happening. Because if you don't know anything about 75 hard, if you mess up on a day, even if it's the progress photo and you forget to take that, you go back to day 1 and you start over.
No missing.
There's no missing.
There's no fudging.
No.
There's no.
Nope.
You're either doing it or you're not.
You're doing it or not. It's very clear cut. And one of the things he said in that podcast was, if you're that person that's going to say, oh, I can do it all, but I'm not going to drink that gallon of water. I'm going to just drink 100 ounces. Or I'm going to do 2 workouts, but they're only going to be 35 or 30 minutes, not 45 minutes. He goes, that is why you are where you are in your life, because you constantly make exceptions for yourself. And I was all, excuse me, like, okay.
Yeah.
But it is so true.
It is true. And I went to a spin class one time, and it was an hour-long spin class. And the teacher... It was we're at the 55-minute mark.
Yeah.
And she says, I know it's only 5 minutes left. I know we're only doing the cool down and this and that. Make sure you finish, though. Make sure you go the full 60 minutes. Because you came in here and you told yourself you're going to do a 60-minute class.
Yeah.
Do the 60-minute class. Because it teaches your brain to finish whatever you set out to do.
So much more powerful than it even initially sounds.
Right, because you think...
Finishing things, like doing it to the very full extent. And he said, if you did a 44-minute workout, that doesn't count. You have to go back and I'm like, dang.
Yeah.
But it set a new level of don't cut corners. Stop cutting corners.
You just start doing it.
Yeah.
In your life versus having to think about it.
Yeah, it's an attitude of cutting corners more than it is an attitude of completion. And making sure that you are, crossing your T's and dotting all of your I's. That is the small things that separate people from average to great or great to excellent. I really think that is.
It's, I didn't even think about it, but I was doing it to myself. Right now, I'm on a program of weights, Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Yep.
Cardio, mostly cycling, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday.
Okay.
But I told myself, work out for an hour, weights for an hour, 1 hour.
Mm-hmm.
Because I never really tracked my time in the gym before, and it's not really important necessarily, but I want to be in there for an hour.
Yeah.
And so I am making myself, maybe my workout is fine at 50 minutes, but I am doing that.
I love that.
I'm looking up there, I'm like, okay, it hasn't been an hour yet. I have time for one more exercise.
Yeah, it's so true. So you're leveling up. And we make promises and hold in such reverence our word to other people.
Yeah.
But we don't really emphasize that, our word to ourselves. Like when you promise yourself that you're going to do something, to hold your feet to the fire and to complete it is really powerful.
It is powerful.
It makes you proud of yourself at the end of the day. It makes you if you just walk a little higher, you just peacock a little more. Yeah. I mean, it's really something that it really makes a difference. I'm glad you're doing that. That's cool.
So what are your 2 workouts?
So
I know they're not always the same, but more or less what are your workouts?
For the most part, I get up in the morning and I lift pretty heavy. I had stopped lifting weights for a number of years and didn't really like how my body looked. I'm like, get back to weights, girl. You look good, you feel good, you feel strong, you get more upright. So I've been hitting the gym in the mornings and lift pretty heavy, full body workouts most of the time. I do a lot of sled work, a lot of body movements, rotation, different things like that.
Yeah.
And then my second workout is usually I go on a walk, a 45-minute walk, or a Peloton ride or something like that. So the second workout is not nearly as strenuous as my first.
Right.
It's more of a practice of just moving your body. But it could be...
and what's the rule in 75 hard? I know it's 2 45-minute workouts.
You could do a stretch if you wanted to.
Is that, so there's no...
It's just movement.
Heart rate condition in there or anything like
it's
that?
just movement or some part of physical fitness that improves that. And so many people skip stretching, which will make a massive impact. Oh, somebody in this room, maybe. You just feel like fingers are pointing right now.
Right.
So we forget our flexibility, which is a major part of it, especially as we get older, right?
Yes.
Even in the recovery and the performance and stuff. What about balance, right? So there's times that I do balance workouts because I'm 49 years old almost. I mean, we need to work on that and make sure that we're stable and solid. So it doesn't matter. And that's one of the things that I wanted to make this, for the women in my life that are kind of watching probably. I didn't want to be that girl that's out there doing 2 hardcore workouts because that's not feasible for a lot of women. If they're really out of shape, that's not something that they could copy or mimic. But they could do a walk.
Right.
They could do 2 walks, right? They could do flexibility and balance training. And then the second workout could be a walk. And that alone has been enough to change my body in a massive way. So it's kind of a neat experiment to be like, I wonder what's going to really change my body and make me feel better. Those 2 things have worked well.
Right. Yeah. It's, and there's ways to, say you've never done this. Say you're not into physical fitness at all. And you decide to do 75 hard. There's ways to incorporate the time efficiencies into it. For instance, it's okay to, maybe you're not going to look as put together all day long.
Yeah.
2 workouts is a lot.
It is
even if it's a walk.
It's a challenge.
But it's a lot of time. Okay, you're getting dressed beforehand to get into your workout.
Yes. Oh, I'm in and out of showers, fast showers and changing my outfits. Yeah, because I have business meetings to go to.
Yeah,
but I'm also learning to dress that way. I can wear tights and tennis shoes and a sports bra, change my tank top.
Totally.
Do a quick wash down and then put a little blazer over it with some boots. You're looking good. That works.
And that's exactly where I was headed with this. Being an ag, a lot of times I'm in jeans and boots and either a button down or a polo.
Plaid.
That's my
plaid.
Exactly. You gotta go plaid. How do you not go plaid?
You gotta go plaid if you're a farmer.
We gotta blend in with everybody else. But that's the way I dress. Well, now I just, I'm not trying to push Lululemon, but those are the only pants I found. They look like khakis.
Yep.
But I can work out in them.
Fantastic.
I'll change my shoes. I'll go for my tennis shoes. I'll throw my work, not boots, but shoes on.
Yeah.
throw a different shirt on, take off my workout t-shirt, throw a polo on.
Yep.
I'm out the door.
I know. A little squirt of some cologne. You got it, right?
I'm not going to tell anybody I didn't shower.
You know what? Towel, like just, dry yourself off.
But speaking of the 2 workouts for $75, there's ways to incorporate time.
Yeah, I mean, even on travel days, we've had some travel days. Derek loves to travel. So those are the challenge. Water, getting a gallon of water in when you're traveling on a plane, right? Like going up to the bathroom all the time. And then the 2 workouts a day. So I've done workouts in airports. Yeah. I'm like lunging down the thing. People are looking at me weird. But again, where I would have before just ignored that and been like, you know what? I'm going to give myself an out. There was no out because I'm like, there's no way I'm going back to day 1 over this. No. So no way. I'm like walking and doing lunges.
If your gate's far enough away, you can just hit the watch.
Yeah, exactly. No, and you're walking, we'll walk fast and do that. I did. I just hit my watch. I'm like, let's go. And I might stop for, like a couple push-ups in the corner where no one sees me. I mean, it's like, but it's just a practice of figuring things out. When you have a goal, you learn to figure it out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I wasn't doing that before. So it's something I'm really proud of. And it's been a really neat thing for me. And even my family watching and friends watching and stuff, they're like, oh, you're changing up. I'm like, yeah, well, you have to. Like, there's no way you can't transform when you do something like that.
Yeah, you're definitely going to. And you are pretty high up in Arbonne.
Yeah.
I mean, you are a successful consultant. That means you're working your butt off. How have you changed your schedule around to continue that while
what I've done?
Moving into this new way of life?
So I have stopped allowing myself so much time. Okay. So I have because part of ours is social media. We do a lot of social media a lot of times and stuff. So to create a reel, I used to be like, oh my God, it would take me like 2 hours sometimes. Now I'm like, girl, you got 30 minutes, like make it happen. And it doesn't always end up being perfect. I don't sit around thinking about like, how should I say this? And I just call, I make the phone calls. So I just stopped allowing myself the luxury of so much time. I don't have it anymore. So I still want to be able to achieve certain things.
Less overthinking.
Yeah. A lot less overthinking.
More doing.
Which also provides a lot of confidence for you. Because you're like, geez, I've been overthinking this my entire Arbonne career, right? Yeah. And now I'm like, it can get so much more done in such a shorter period of time, which is really neat. Yeah. And that also now that allows me a lot more free time. So it's crazy how when you fit more into your day and you become more disciplined, it actually frees you up in a lot of ways.
Yeah. And to bring it back to I've already worked from home before COVID hit. But when COVID hit, it really, even working from home, it slowed down more because nobody else was working.
Yeah.
And the less busy you are, the more busy you feel.
Yeah, but the less productive you are sometimes, right? It's just this weird thing. You're like, how is this happening? I have more time and getting less done. I think that a lot of people recognize this, that those years that we were in college when we were squeezed so tight, or high school, and we were doing sports and having finals and stuff, the busier you are, the more you get done. Your life is packed and it's scheduled for you. So you don't have time, like you said, perfectly, to not overthink things, which is kind of a blessing.
Right. So somebody like you is wired like that. How do you balance the social life and family life into it?
Well, my family always comes first.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's something, being a stay-at-home mom with those babes, I always have time to slow down and talk, to my babes. Or if I don't in that moment, I'm like, hold tight. I will be with you. I hear you. I see you. I just can't have this conversation now. My business is very social, which I love.
Yeah.
So that is a lot of my social outlet, is just connecting with my clients, helping them in any way I can. We're a health and wellness company, right? So being able to, I can't just throw products at people and be like, good luck with those.
Right.
You have to teach them and coach them. And really, I guess not everybody does, but one of the things I love to do is really sit on that platform of health and wellness.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of things outside of Arbonne. Like if somebody has brain fog, for instance, there's products that we have that can really help them and help their brain. But then I also have all of these outside things. And I'm like, do you meditate? Have you gone down to Happy Whole You, which is a local business that's amazing? Have you gone down to there? She's a brain, loves specializing in the brain.
I have her on.
Yeah, I love Anna Marie. She's fantastic. So it's really slowing down and coaching and teaching them and all of the, that is part of my social life. That is part of what I love to do. Yeah. And my family, I don't know. You just always have time for your family.
Yeah.
You know, they're right there in your face. So they're going to make sure. And those kids, when you have 5 kids, they throw elbows for attention. Like they'll make sure they come and find their time with me when they need it, you know, so.
So how are you getting closer and closer to getting in the gym with Derek in the morning?
You know what? He's 4:15. He does love.
You're like 15 minutes off.
We're 15 minutes off. Yeah, I went from 4:45 recently to 4:30. So I'm getting close. I'm coming for you, big boy.
Yeah.
And so. Yeah, he goes and does different kinds of workouts than me.
Of course.
Yeah, we used to work out a little bit together, but I don't love the workouts that he does, and I don't think he wants to do the workouts that I'm doing. We just have different needs now.
No, of course.
Yeah, so we usually go work out and then meet up. We usually cross, paths because my morning routine is at home at first while he's working out, and then we switch. And then he comes home and does the sauna and all of his stuff. Okay. And then I'm working out. So someone's with the kids always, you know. Okay. Which is kind of nice. So
what's your evening routine like?
So I go to church in the evenings, 6 nights a week, actually, do a Bible study. And running kids around, making dinner. Usually it's pretty like boom, boom, boom. We're pretty hectic. And then we get
pretty structured. Like
it's very structured.
You're on a very
this
is when dinner's happening.
Yeah. And there's sometimes
if you're not here, you're not eating.
Right. I mean, there's sometimes that, and I will say, like, I am not the best at dinner. And I'm like, 23 years into this, you would think that I would be like, there's dinner tonight and you're going to have to feed some mouths. And I swear to you, at 4:00 every single day, I'm like, oh, I got dinner to make. What am I going to make? And I'm throwing things together. Jared gives me such grace. He's so awesome with it. There's times I'm like, so don't really know what we're going to do. And he's like, I'll run by and grab something. I'm like, thanks, babe. Yeah. Maybe one night a week or so. We don't do it a ton, but I mean, our dinners are simple. We do a lot of protein, a lot of meat. And then little sides of veggies. But I mean, our main dish is protein. We're a protein oriented family. And then don't have a lot of sweets and like bread. We don't do much of that at all. So it's pretty simple. Throw some meat on the barbecue like you say, and a salad.
That's not your thing.
Yeah.
Dinner's not your thing.
I don't thrive at that. Yeah.
And it's just fine.
For this season in my life. Yeah. It's just not, I don't sit and like plan great meals and have a glass of wine. Like I know moms like that. I'm like, oh, that's so awesome. I love that for you. Just not where my priorities are right now.
Yeah, that's same with Tammy and I. All right, we're gonna have that protein on there.
Yep. Easy.
And how fast, it's not like we rush to make the meal, but we're not going to sit there and figure out how complex we can make a meal.
That's right. No, it is easy. Like it's all about easy for me.
It's going to taste good. It's going to be healthy, but we're going to get it done.
Yes. Yeah.
Because our day is taken up.
Totally.
What we want to do for the rest of the day is where we'd rather spend our brain power.
That's where we are too.
Versus
sitting down and making a 3-hour meal and on a nightly basis,
right.
And I know that's some people's passion. It just wasn't mine. I'd rather go out and connect with a person or have a conversation with my kid, or there's 1,000 other things that are just so much more important to me than like sitting down and making that meal. It's my dream one day to have a chef. Love that. All of us would love that, right?
We talk about that all the time. If money was no issue.
Dreamy.
Chef, bar none.
Done and done.
Yes. Can you imagine just sitting down and having anything?
Oh, I'm like, here's my request. Could you make it happen? Yeah. It's like magic. Yeah.
And I don't even lie. Yeah. I think I'd be super. I don't even care what make it healthy.
High protein.
Make it healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is what I want it based on.
That's it.
Just put it in front of me.
Do your thing.
I guarantee you I'll eat it.
Oh my gosh. It would be the dreamiest thing ever. So goals.
I know. But you mentioned earlier, you use a sauna. And I remember I want to ask her about the sauna. I haven't used one. I've used one, yes, but I've never gotten the habit of it. What do you see? What are the biggest benefits that you see personally for using it?
Well, part of it is just that it's a space that I get to go in the morning and get so much of my routine done. Like it's
lock the door.
Yeah, it's super nice. But there are so many benefits. I mean, you're sweating bullets in there. So I obviously sweating is one of the major elimination,
And you mentioned earlier what kind of sauna you use, but I forget.
Infrared. It's an infrared. Sunlighten is the brand. It's a great one. Has low EMFs and it has near, far, and mid range infrared, frequency waves, which So there's an old school one, which just makes you sweat, right? It heats up to a level and you put that, pour the water on the stones. And we used to have one of those at our other house. Loved it. It's really dry heat, right? And it just makes your whole body sweat, which is also very, very beneficial. Those typically get a little bit hotter. Okay. The infrared actually works with wavelengths, and it goes in and penetrates your cells. So the far infrared goes far deep into your skin, into your cells, and it will actually detox your individual cells.
Okay.
So, and then the mid goes a little bit closer. There's benefits of each one of them, but it's just great for mental health. It's a great quiet place.
And you're in there for how long?
I would go in there for about an hour.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I go in there for about an hour. Derek does 2 1-hour sessions a day. So he does it in the morning and he does one in the evening too. So you do have to drink a ton of water because, you're literally dripping sweat, which helps your skin glow. It helps toxins come out. My mom has Parkinson's and I've got her in there all the time. I'm like, lady, you need to get in there and detox your little cute buns. Let's go.
Plus, that's where you say you do your reading.
Yeah, it's kind of that little space where I read, I meditate, I visualize, and I pray. Those are all the, big components of my morning routine. And I do them all inside of that 1 hour. So I'm very busy in that sauna.
Yeah.
More mental busy,
I've thought about them, but just never.
Yeah, I have a spare bedroom. When the kids started moving up, we've got 3 kids off to college or in real life, right?
Yeah.
And so we had an extra bedroom, and we built one in there.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, it's like a little modular thing, and you pop it in there. We had a handyman come in. We arrived on a crate, and a handyman built it for us, and it was the best thing.
Kid comes home from school. Your room is now a spa.
Oh, yeah. No, sorry about that. They're fired up, though. They love it. They go in, Ben comes home, and he's been in there. He's been home for spring break, and he's been in there all the time. Loves it. So some great health benefits.
So to kind of wrap all this up, you were already busy. You brought 75 Hard into your life. You leveled up, you're doing more. Not to make this about 75 Hard, but what would be your advice to somebody if they wanted to level up, already busy? What was the number one thing you took from everything you're doing now? So if you said, okay, if you were just going to do one thing, what would you tell somebody to do?
Just one thing. I would say to have that morning routine. I really would. I think that is something that just I know so many women, especially, that don't take time for themselves. It was me for so many years where my sailboat would just go where the wind took me, where the tide took me, and that depended upon what Derek needed from me in the moment, or one of my kids, or what my business needed from me. And I think it's really important for women to get centered, and men too. But I always love speaking to women, but and they're the first ones to give up what they need for somebody else.
So
women
true.
are so bad at that.
Yeah.
And so I think it's really important to be selfish in those positive ways, to ground yourself first thing in the morning. It gets your mind right. It gets you there's a confidence that comes with it. There's the calmness that comes with it when you're very centered and you've spent time in gratitude. You've spent time thinking about how you're proud of yourself, where you want your life to go, what you want your day to look like. All of those things are really, really powerful for a woman to have her cup full so that she can pour out into the other cups that she needs to all day long. That's the one thing I would say.
Great advice.
Yeah, get your morning routine dialed in.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Oh my gosh, thanks for having me. What a pleasure. It's been such a fun meeting.
Talking to you.
Yeah, you too, John. Yeah. All right. Thanks.